I never trust frank and simple people whose stories hold together.
Power does not corrupt. Fear corrupts, perhaps the fear of a loss of power. And therefore those skilled in war bring the enemy to the field of battle and are not brought there by him. Take a deep breath. It's just a bad day, not a bad life.
If something is important, it deserves to be experienced deeply.
There were many terrible things in my life, and most of them never happened. The world should have been in Technicolor, but seemed more like black and white.
I had forgotten how much light there is in the world till you gave it back to me. If a general shows confidence in his men, but always insists on his orders being obeyed, the gain will be mutual.
Give up to grace. The ocean takes care of each wave till it gets to shore. You need more help than you know. Suspect each moment, for it is a thief, tiptoeing away with more than it brings.
The superior man thinks always of virtue. The common man thinks of comfort.
Life is what happens to us while we are making other plans. Great achievement is usually born of great sacrifice and is never the result of selfishness. Yea, all things live forever, though at times they sleep and are forgotten. I would rather make mistakes in kindness and compassion than work miracles in unkindness and hardness.
Other people are only aspects of our own greater being. Most of what I say is complete truth. My edit button is broken.
Never put off for tomorrow what is meant for today. Tomorrow may never come.
Our ability to adapt is amazing. Our ability to change isn't quite as spectacular.
When you have an understanding of how things work, you will know better how to work things out. You should never be surprised when someone treats you with respect. You should expect it. Success is a little like wrestling a gorilla. You don't quit when you're tired. You quit when the gorilla is tired.
The mistakes I've made are dead to me, but I can't take back the things I never did. Do not use life to give life to death. Do not use death to bring death to life.
Being human is not hard because you're doing it wrong. It's hard because you're doing it right. My motto is that you can't always control what happens to you in life, but you can control your reaction.
There is an intelligent way to eat a live frog. I just don't know what it is.
Always be open to inspiration. You never know where it may come from. Begin with an open mind, end with an inspired heart. There is another alphabet, whispering from every leaf, singing from every river, shimmering from every sky. All sins are forgiven once you start making a lot of money. The summit of happiness is reached when a person is ready to be what he is. Those who rest when they need to work will work when they need to rest. Do your bit when it is most rewarding.
First learn to become invincible, then wait for your enemy's moment of vulnerability. Growing up is losing some illusions in order to acquire others.
Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. You have 3 choices in life. You can watch things happen, make things happen, or wonder what the hell happened. Not how the world is, but that it is the mystery. I only seem negative to the fortunate. That's because I show the less fortunate that they aren't less fortunate after all. I want to keep my dreams, even bad ones, because without them I might have nothing all night long. Believe in your infinite potential. Your only limitations are those you set upon yourself. To me, all research is exploring the universe, understanding it deeper, one finding at a time. Do not seek to follow in the footsteps of the wise. Seek what they sought. If anyone on the verge of action should judge himself according to the outcome, he would never begin. The things hardest to bear are sweetest to remember. The free mind, unafraid of labor, presses on to attain the good. Even a blind man knows when the sun is shining. If what you seek is truth, there's one thing you must have above all else. Your deepest, darkest moment may be the best thing that ever happens to you. Learn to heal without venting to everyone. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit.
It was the truth, and like any truth, it was powerful.
There is a wisdom of the head, and there is a wisdom of the heart. Nobody is wired wrong, because there's no wrong and right in the way we are. The fundamental things in a man are not the things he explains, but rather the things he forgets to explain.
You are never alone. You are eternally connected with everyone.
When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor.
Feet, what do I need them for, if I have wings to fly?
What you don't know won't hurt you. The dubious maxim, sometimes what you don't know can hurt you very much. Because even though the truth can set you free, that doesn't mean it won't be painful. In my opinion, our healthcare system has failed when a doctor fails to treat an illness that is treatable. The mind once enlightened cannot again become dark. In a world chasing trends, find solace in the everlasting embrace of authenticity and pure happiness.
Serious thinkers are few, and the world is ruled by crude ideas.
Life is not complex. We are complex. Life is simple, and the simple thing is the right thing. We could never learn to be brave and patient if there were only joy in the world.
He was a lonely ghost, uttering a truth that nobody would ever hear.
You will receive everything you need when you stop asking for what you do not need.
One who has few must prepare against the enemy. One who has many makes the enemy prepare against him.
I prefer you to make mistakes in kindness than work miracles in unkindness.
Be grateful for what you already have while you pursue what you want.
The best lies are based on the truth, at least in part. Life doesn't always give us the choices we want. All we can do is make the best of things. Solitary trees, if they grow at all, grow strong.
Weak people revenge, strong people forgive, intelligent people ignore.
There's nothing more embarrassing than to have earned the disfavor of a perceptive animal. Once you reject fear, you will become the perfect candidate to receive and reflect truth.
Some people could look at a mud puddle and see an ocean with ships.
The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. It was like the beginning of life and laughter. It was the real meaning of the sun. Where wisdom reigns, there is no conflict between thinking and feeling. I like to set my dreams high. That way, even if I only make it halfway there, it's still pretty darn good.
Most often, you don't own your own mind. You borrow it from society.
In all debates, let truth be thy aim, not victory or an unjust interest. Our business in life is not to succeed, but to continue to fail in good spirit. Inspiration is sometimes as simple as a shared smile. Forgiveness doesn't have to be when they are sorry, but when you show compassion to those who don't deserve it.
If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything.
We never know the quality of someone else's life, though we seldom resist the temptation to assume and pass judgment. My heart is too thoroughly dried to be broken in a hurry, and I mean to live as long as I can. A man is never more truthful than when he acknowledges himself a liar. Dream no small dreams, for they have no power to move the hearts of men.
Just because it's taking time doesn't mean it's not happening. A battering ram can knock down a city wall, but it cannot stop a hole. Different things have different uses. The control of large numbers is possible, and like unto that of small numbers, if we subdivide them.
It is almost impossible to carry the torch of truth through a crowd without singeing somebody's beard. We'd met at a carefree time, a moment full of promise. In its place now were the harsh lessons of the real world.
The most important decision you make is to be in a good mood.
Don't give up on yourself. There's a reason why you started.
If the mind is willing, the flesh could go on and on without many things.
We hold the future still timidly, but perceive it for the first time as a function of our own action. Don't own so much clutter that you will be relieved to see your house catch fire. Consuming all your income leads to financial insecurity, but earning to invest paves the way to financial freedom. If we admit that human life can be ruled by reason, then all possibility of life is destroyed. No regrets, just lessons. No worries, just acceptance. No expectations, just gratitude. Life is too short.
He who requires much from himself and little from others will keep himself from being the object of resentment.
The greatest blessing granted to mankind come by way of madness, which is a divine gift.
If you fight with all your might, there is a chance of life, whereas death is certain if you cling to your corner.
I was lost yesterday, I am found today, and I will be forgotten tomorrow. Sharing your accomplishments is essential, but avoid the pitfall of oversharing every minor success. Some people avoid thinking deeply in public only because they are afraid of coming across as suicidal. Never do anything that you can't admit doing, because if you are that ashamed of whatever it is, it's probably wrong. However beautiful the strategy, you should occasionally look at the results. Don't be afraid of your fears. They're not there to scare you. They're there to let you know something is worth it. No single event can awaken within us a stranger whose existence we had never suspected. To live is to be slowly born. Cut not the wings of your dreams, for they are the heartbeat and the freedom of your soul. Act the way you'd like to be, and soon you'll be the way you'd like to act. Excessive praise arises from the same bigotry matrix as excessive criticism. Great leadership is always coupled with the mindset, motivation, and momentum of great service. Somebody has to start. Somebody has to step forward and do what is right, because it is right. The man who has some respect for his person, keeps his carcass out of sight, hides himself as perfectly as he can. The end may justify the means as long as there is something that justifies the end. Be a life long or short, its completeness depends on what it was lived. The more you are interested in others, the more interesting they find you. Be interesting, be interested. It's a sad day when you find out that it's not accident or time or fortune, but just yourself that kept things from you. Trusting yourself means living out what you already know. Be true. Life is like an elevator. On your way up, sometimes you have to stop and let some people off. Before you can successfully make friends with others, first you have to become your own friend. If you really want the key to success, start by doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing. Do yourself a favor, get rich. Life gets easier with money, not time. The words kept coming back to him. Statement of a mystical truth and a palpable absurdity. Doing what I like to do, the way I like to do it, makes me happy.
Life is not about living the safer option. Life is about living a life worth living.
I'm killing time while I wait for life to shower me with meaning and happiness. Behind every successful person lies a pack of haters.
Feeling guilty does not set us free. Being equipped sets us free.
When all seems to be against you, remember, a ship sometimes has to sail against the current, not with it. You didn't just cheat on me, you cheated on us. You didn't just break my heart, you broke our future.
The serpent, if it wants to become the dragon, must eat itself.
You should always do what you can to make life sweeter. Don't reject something just because it seems strange. It's comfort that will kill you in the end. Money gives you freedom. Freedom gives you happiness.
A rose does not answer its enemies with words, but with beauty.
Your heart is the size of an ocean. Go find yourself in its hidden depths. Today is the oldest you've ever been, and the youngest you'll ever be again.
The scholar does not consider gold and jade to be precious treasures, but loyalty and good faith. If everyone wants to be somebody, I want to be somebody else.
The beginning is the most important part of the work. Mostly, the world sees you the way you see yourself.
I drink a cup of sunlight every morning to brighten myself. Keep a little fire burning, however small, however hidden.
The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. When you judge another, you do not define them, you define yourself. A great many people always think they are thinking when they are merely rearranging their prejudices.
Everything is relative in this world, where change alone endures.
The windows of my soul I throw wide open to the sun. Properly practiced, knitting soothes the troubled spirit, and it doesn't hurt the untroubled spirit either. My mission in life is not merely to survive, to thrive. With an eye made quiet by the power of harmony and the deep power of joy, we see into the life of things. The worst part about being lied to is knowing you weren't worth the truth. Use the wings of the flying universe. Dream with open eyes. See in darkness. Great goals make great people. People cannot hit what they do not aim for. Our greatest fear should not be of failure, but of succeeding at things in life that don't really matter. The opinion which other people have of you is their problem, not yours. Change your life today. Don't gamble on the future. Act now without delay. Be a lamp, or a lifeboat, or a ladder. Help someone's soul heal. Walk out of your house like a shepherd. This life is not a movie, and sometimes I forget that. There are a dozen views about everything until you know the answer. Then there's never more than one. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. Before wanting to feel at home with someone else, learn how to feel at home with yourself. You don't have to choose between being scientific and being compassionate. Success isn't a result of spontaneous combustion. You must set yourself on fire. One word of encouragement can be enough to spark someone's motivation to continue with a difficult challenge. Find the things that matter and hold on to them and fight for them and refuse to let them go.
Maybe everyone can live beyond what they're capable of. Conformity teaches us the value of our precious worth.
Prepare yourself for success. You have to see it coming to get there.
If ignorant both of your enemy and yourself, you are certain to be in peril.
Light must come from inside. You cannot ask the darkness to leave you. You must turn on the light. Focus on you. People come and go.
To think too long about doing a thing often becomes its undoing.
I don't walk away from things I think are unfinished. Dying is only one thing to be sad over. Living unhappily is something else. You cannot change your future. You can change your habits. And surely your habits will change your future.
Man is no longer an artist. He has become a work of art.
A man, though wise, should never be ashamed of learning more, and must unbend his mind.
Nothing is permanent in this wicked world, not even our troubles.
Life is dear to every living thing. The worm that crawls upon the ground will struggle for it.
Life did not intend to make us perfect. Whoever is perfect belongs in a museum. If your life is worth thinking about, it is worth writing about.
With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy. Even small positive shifts in thinking create huge results if you're consistent in your efforts.
How people treat you is their karma. How you react is yours.
You have to fight through some bad days to learn the best days of your life. Imagination is cheap as long as you don't have to worry about the details. A lie sometimes can be truer than the truth, which is why fiction gets written.
We never live. We are always in the expectation of living. It shattered something inside me that hadn't been broken before.
Everything will turn out right. The world is built on that. One who makes himself a worm cannot complain afterwards if people step on him. There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure.
Belief can be manipulated. Only knowledge is dangerous.
I shall look at you out of the corner of my eye, and you will say nothing. Words are the source of misunderstandings.
We all have the beast in us, Bill, and it is up to us to control it.
One lie has the power to tarnish 1,000 truths.
Spies are a most important element in water, because on them depends an army's ability to move.
A day without laughter is like living in darkness. You try to find your way around, but you can't see clearly. The more ways you can tell a story and paint a picture, the better it is.
If you make a mistake and do not correct it, this is called a mistake. When we fail, our pride supports us, and when we succeed, it betrays us. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. We are products of our past, but we don't have to be prisoners of it.
No matter how high your status in life is, you are inferior to death. For this, be humble. The best way to prepare for life is to begin to live.
Respect yourself, and others will respect you.
Take responsibility of your own happiness. Never put it in other people's hands. The true delight is in the finding out, rather than in the knowing. It has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity. The difference between the impossible and the possible lies in a person's determination. There's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. We have no right to express an opinion until we know all of the answers.
The inner fire is the most important thing mankind possesses. And there are really never endings, happy or otherwise.
Because if you found meaning in your life, You don't want to go back. You want to go forward.
Everyone who got to where they are had to begin where they were.
Your own positive future begins in this moment. All you have is right now. Every goal is possible from here. What one generation finds ridiculous, the next accepts, and the third shudders when it looks back on what the first did. There is nothing good in this world that does not have some filth in its origin. Even though our time in this life is temporary, if we live well enough, our legacy will last. And that's when I realized the thing about the truth. It always comes out, no matter what you do. If you choose them right, they can open any heart and shut any mouth. Truth is stranger than fiction, but it is because fiction is obliged to stick to possibilities. Truth isn't. The darkening of the world makes the irrationality of art rational, radically darkened art.
As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters.
In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on.
Efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction.
Your life begins to change the day you take responsibility for it. Step without fear. Helping anyone to step out of fear is the best emotional recipe for the mind. The worst memories stick with us, while the nice ones always seem to slip through our fingers. When the pain of staying is greater than the pain of leaving, you know it's time to make a change.
I'm always doing that, which I cannot do, in order that I may learn how to do it.
I think it's important to hold a mirror up to society and yourself.
Sometimes life is too hard to be alone, and sometimes life is too good to be alone. A trusting heart will follow only those who truly follow their heart.
Your tomorrow depends entirely on what you do today. Every concept of reality is all in our head. Belief is what makes truth. If you don't have any shadows, you're not in the light. There is only one day left, always starting over. It is given to us at dawn and taken away from us at dusk. Associate with the noblest people you can find. Read the best books, live with the mighty, but learn to be happy alone. Upon my word, I think the truth is the hardest missile one can be pelted. Youth is easily deceived because it is quick to hope. A wise man gets more use from his enemies than a fool from his friends. Dripping water hollows out stone, not through force but through persistence. You only have to do a very few things right in your life, so long as you don't do too many things wrong.
Death is unstoppable. One must face it as a fact of life.
Remake the world, a little at a time, each in your own corner of the world. Mankind is made of 2 kinds of people. Wise people who know they're fools, and fools who think they are wise. To me, there is nothing complicated about ordinary equality.
Bad habits are like a comfortable bed, easy to get into, but hard to get out of.
The Western mind makes definitions, it draws lines. Life has become immeasurably better since I have been forced to stop taking it seriously. For truth is always strange, stranger than fiction.
The skillful employer of men will employ the wise man, the brave man, the covetous man, and the stupid man.
There are no shortcuts to any place worth going. I try to avoid looking forward or backward, and try to keep looking upward. In matters of style, swim with the current. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. Prediction is very difficult, especially about the future. Never underestimate the power you have to take your life in a new direction. There's a great joy in living a life others rarely understand. The evolution revolution is here. Global sense makes common sense. Your emotions are the slaves to your thoughts, and you are the slave to your emotion.
By what men think, we create the world around us, daily new. There's more beauty in truth, even if it is dreadful beauty.
Respect and take care of the people. It's for the people. In return, you get respect from the people.
Write it on your heart that every day is the best day in the year. Always stand up for truth, regardless of who steps on it.
Of all sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these. It might have been. Sometimes one likes foolish people for their folly, better than wise people for their wisdom. If you don't control your mind, someone else will. Every time I plant a seed, he say, kill it before it grow. He say, kill it before they grow. History is idle gossip about a happening whose truth is lost the instant it has taken place.